Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we're back with another How About Them Celtics video. Sam and I are here recording on Sunday, December 22nd, holiday season officially, and we're looking at a tweet from the great Jake Eisenberg, friend of the show, first of the floor legend, tweeted about potential Celtics trade targets. So we're going to talk about them for a little bit here for you guys. Jake tweeted at around 5 p.m. today as we're recording this, so yesterday as you're listening to this. The Hauser injury raises a level of urgency for Brad to make a move with the Springer contract. And then he listed some tiers of guys that he likes. Dreams, but no chance. Santi Aldama and Jake LaRavia, pair of Grizzlies. Unlikely, Justin Champagny. Attainable, Alec Burks, Javonte Green, Garrison Matthews, Torrey Craig. Another option is to dump Springer and bring back Brissett or Lonnie. And then he said, any other ideas? I actually responded to this. I said, I like elevating Peterson or Shireman, or just playing Shireman more. I mean, LaRavia would be sick. Garrison Matthews is all right. Also keeping an eye on Daquan Jeffries and David Roddy. Some other people threw some stuff out there in the comments. But yeah, what do you think, Sam? I mean, it's a solid list. Obviously, some are more realistic than others. But are you worried about the Hauser injury? And what do you think of these trade targets?
It's funny, Jake and I kind of chatted about this a little bit on the pregame yesterday, and I don't think I'm super duper worried about Hauser's injury. However, I will say it has hindered his ability to be on the floor, and when he's been on the floor this year, he hasn't been quite as efficient as he was last year. So I think it is actually bothering him a little bit, and I think the Celtics are not significantly worse, but they're definitely worse when Sam Hauser isn't playing because that's one less reliable guy they have on the perimeter. Even if Hauser's shooting subpar this year, he's still Sam Hauser, and teams are like, oh my God, we got to go out there and guard him. Meanwhile, they've been putting Jaden Springer out there. They haven't done it in both games. They did it on Thursday and they lost the game. But you could see how when Springer was on the floor, Celtics had to shift the way they played offense. They had a guard in the dunker spot. They do that with Drew Holiday, but Drew Holiday is an elite decision maker who's been in the NBA for quite some time now, 15 seasons. Springer is not at that same level as much as I like him. He needs to be someone whose decisions need to be simple when he has the ball, and they can't really give him that option because he can't reliably knock down three-pointers. So, with all that being said, I think Jake's pitch here is completely relevant because they certainly could use some more wing depth. And there's going to be people in the comments that kind of like stick their head around the corner, like peeking in, and they're like, "Hey, remember that guy Lonnie Walker? They could have had him. They didn't have to let him walk." And it's true, but at the same time, I don't think it was worth the excessive luxury tax dollars they would have had to cough up. And I also think having the roster spot open allows for flexibility as we continue to approach the trade deadline. And you also didn't really know that you were going to need a Lonnie Walker. Like there was no concept in our heads that was like, oh yeah, like definitely can use that extra wing. Like they really need depth at that position. Like, no, they actually kind of don't. Like even now, you said you like it better to elevate somebody like Peterson or play Shireman more. That's also a very valid option. Like I think Peterson's been pretty solid anytime he's had minutes. I don't think the G League boys made the trip to Chicago because they're down in Orlando playing at the showcase. So yeah, I guess when the G League showcase is happening, you can't really elevate Peterson, and it's nice to have somebody like Alec Burks or Javonte or Garrison Matthews or Torrey Craig, but you don't really need that. It depends what the prices are. I think if you had somebody come back, it would be nice to have Javonte Green on the team. I know Tatum would like that. Garrison Matthews was here for a cup of coffee too. Torrey Craig has been somebody who for years has been, hey, what about this guy? Even Bleacher Report already did it like a month ago when we did the trade article. It was like, hey, Torrey Craig, he's here again. And it makes sense, but I don't really know how much the Celtics are going to be willing to pay to essentially replace a gap that isn't going to exist all the time. Like there's a lot of contingencies to make it feel like there is a gap at all.
Yeah, it's very true. I don't know that the Celtics see Sam Hauser's injury as a reason or a pressure to make a trade. Like, I feel like they're pretty comfortable being where they're at and just rolling with what they have. Drew Peterson's looked good in his minutes. And I mean, Joe has been comfortable playing him in big games too. He was playing against the Cavs, and that was like one of the bigger games of the season.
Played
He
well.
was just fine. Yeah, exactly. Played him in the Heat game too. Sharman's been a little bit more. I don't want to say Joe's been hesitant to play him, but he just hasn't had as many opportunities. But in my opinion, I think he's looked pretty good in Maine. So I'd be pleased if he gets those chances to play some extra minutes. But obviously, we'll have to see about that.
People
And
clicking
then
this video are gonna be so mad. They're gonna be like, "These guys are so lame. This was a trade targets video, and they're just talking about the guys that are already on the team."
well, I'll get there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
I'm not rushing you. I
Of
think
these
you're right.
guys, yeah. Like of the guys that Jake mentioned, I don't think they're not getting Santi Aldama or Jake LaRavia. Both of those
No,
guys are worth
Memphis
more
is
than
trying to
second round
compete.
picks. Memphis is not going to trade them, and I don't think the Celtics would give up a first for those guys. Justin Champagnie is interesting. I don't think the
Former Celtic.
Spurs is he. Yeah, okay, sorry. He's on the Wizards. Sorry, I was confusing with Julian. He's been pretty good for the Wizards this year, actually. He's averaging 10.2 points, 6.6 rebounds, 1.2 assists, but he's only appeared in 9 games. And he's only appeared in 9 games because he wasn't playing to start of the year. I don't know if he was hurt or just wasn't playing, but he's been a heavy rotation player for the last little bit, and he's been looking really good. He, at least to me, falls a little bit under the O'Shea Brissett category. I think he's a better ball handler. I think he's a bit of a better finisher. Not a bit. He's a much better finisher, but it is rebound, hustle, and that's sort of like what you're going to expect from him. So I don't know if I like him to be the. Let's bring him in for Hauser. Burks, Javonte Green, and Torrey Craig are fine. Torrey Craig's probably my favorite of the three. Alec Burks is a bit more of a guard. Javonte Green is more like literally just an O'Shea Brissett, in my opinion. And Torrey Craig, I think, is the best 3-and-D option. I don't think he's an amazing three-point shooter anymore. I think playing, as weird as it is to say, playing in that Bulls offense probably has him used to shooting a lot of threes. He's taking 3 a game of his 3.7 shots, and he's shooting 39%, so that's pretty damn good. He's a solid defender. He is obviously a little bit older. He's 34 years old, but he's been a good defender, and if you have the defensive IQ, it holds up at least a little bit. And then I like Garrison Matthews. I don't know how much the Celtics believe in his defense. I don't think he's an amazing defender. I don't think he's a horrendous defender. And he's a real good three-point shooter. I mean, he takes over 4 a game and he shoots 45%. That's that's something. Another technically former Celtic, 28 years old. I like the guys I threw out because, well, I threw them out, so I had to like them for me to throw them out. I like David Roddy. I think he's a big body. I don't think he's the best defender, so I think there's something there as well. But he shoots 42% from 3 this year. It's lower volume, 1.7 attempts, but I think he is more attainable than a Garrison Matthews. And then Daquan Jeffries is not somebody that you should look at and be like, oh my God, go get him now. He's amazing. But he recently came back from an injury. He's playing for the Hornets right now, and it's very, very, very small sample size. He's played in 4 games, and that's why he said he's somebody to keep an eye on. But in his 4 games, he's averaging 11 points and 4 rebounds and shooting 57.1% on 3.5 threes a game. So I'm not saying that's real. I'm not saying it's not. But if you're the Celtics and you see that on a team who is probably going to be willing to give him up for a second or whatever, I'd be like, huh. let me keep an eye on that real quick. I do want to double check. I'm not sure. So when you look at league contracts, Daquan Jeffries makes little enough to make it work. And yeah, he makes $3 million this year, and the rest of his contract non-guaranteed. So next year is a non-guaranteed deal from what I'm seeing in here. So another guy to keep an eye on. But I think the most realistic pathway, unfortunately, for the people looking for entertainment is just Drew Peterson, Baylor Shireman, and trade Jaden Springer for nothing to save the room and elevate Drew Peterson.
Does Seth Curry kind of like pop out like out of the ground? Like, what about me? Save me from Charlotte, please? Or is it like too cool of a story that his dad's there doing the color commentary? Like he wears the same number.
It's probably a little bit too cool of a story. He's also probably not good enough defender.
Big enough.
He's also 6'1", so he's like small. So I don't know. I don't know how good of a fit that would be. I wish Cody Martin made less money because he's really good. I like him a lot. Someone should save him from Charlotte hell.
Not Miami. Miami should definitely not do that.
Just the last name is enough.
Well, the face does it too. If you ask me,
Sure.
Similar face.
Sure. I'm just looking at like some teams around the league that are going to be bad in selling to see if they have anybody else. If you want to bring back my boy Svi, you could technically go bring him back.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think that's like the worst thing.
You want to talk about a contract that you can keep on the books to trade too?
Yes.
There you go.
I mean, I don't hate that. They all seem to like him.
Go get him. Go get my boy.
If they went and traded for anybody on our Pistons. I think all the guys that they would want make too much money. Like, I don't think Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah, I
is
don't
minimum.
think-
I don't think he plays enough defense.
on the Pistons, tradable guys or gettable guys. Yeah, Marcus Sasser, Wendell Moore, Bobby Clintman, and Paul Reed.
They're not giving up any of those guys except for Paul Reed. The Celtics don't need him.
I mean, maybe they give up Wendell Moore, but I don't think the Celtics are chomping at the bit to get their hands on Wendell Moore.
No.
Anyways,
if they need somebody.
Yeah, right. Let us know what you guys think of the trade options, Peterson, Shireman, all that good stuff. If you're worried about the Hauser injury, for what it's worth, I don't think I said I'm not worried about the Hauser injury. I think it definitely is something that's been nagging him, but it is what it is. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to Them Celtics, follow us here, Spotify, Apple, all the stuff, and all the same. Take it out.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. We're here every single day. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps are up on the channel the morning after each game. Other videos like this one are up in between to keep you up to date or busy in the days off. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple, like Jack mentioned. All pods and recaps are up there for you. So if you leave us a 5-star review, we'd appreciate that very much. It helps us reach more people. So definitely do that. Say something nice about the fellas. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. If you want to say something mean about the fellas, you can do it there, whether the fellas are us or the Celtics. Go ahead. Send them in. We'll read them every single pod, hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Facebook is the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter's at Jack's NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on. Taco.